Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited, thrilled. Can I say, just so joyed to be with you here, to get connected with you here. And we thank you so much for your time and your dedication to this platform, the Unfiltered Women's Voices. It's me, Stella Olivia Kikoyo, and my dear, dear, lovely friend,
Delany.
There you are. So we are so thrilled, as you can see our faces, to just be here again and to talk about our amazing topic. Can you present the topic, Delany?
Yes, our topic today, going on from what we've been talking about in previous episodes, is imagination. Vital to creating greatness, to being a stellar woman, to go beyond the bounds of mediocrity and settling, we need our imagination.
Fire.
It totally is. It totally is. And it's one of those, it's one of those things that if you don't use it, you lose it. Yeah. Think about children, their curiosity, the constant, and when they're really little, and everything's possible. You were talking about that yesterday, Stel.
Yes.
Everything being possible and arguing with you. Like, no, that thing over there is that, and it's like, that's it. I'm going to see it like that.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, and as we saw in that NASA experiment, we go from all having that genius ability, which is highly linked with imagination and curiosity, and bit by bit get deadened down.
Yeah, exactly. But can you expand on that NASA experiment, please?
Yes, I can, because it makes me very excited. And it was commissioned by NASA because they were looking for genius. Yeah. How can we find young geniuses? And these two doctors got together and they started researching, and they had a control group of about 1,600 4 to 5-year-olds to begin with. 98% of them had the ability to be genius level. 98%. And as each year passed, and the longer that they were in school, and then they went to jobs, by the age of 31, 2% still had that capacity. And we know about how the brain works, that you literally, if you don't use it, you lose it. We have that pruning go on of dendrites, which are linked with our neural pathways. And if we're not going to actually use our abilities, they minimize. But what's really amazing as well, and I love this, is the brain, it has its own plasticity. And what was once said that, once you lose it, it's gone, is not true. You can reignite, you can open up, and it's never too late. It's never too late. Even with Alzheimer's, there's really interesting things with music and art, and they may never get all their memory back, but they will remember and be triggered. And it just excites me so much, Stella. Oh, you're muted, my darling.
Yeah, that's very good. The journey you've taken us through to just show the possibilities. And of course, we've lost it at some time, but we can reactivate it. So that's giving us power. You're really just making us aware of this is still possible for us. Albert Einstein said, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's calming attraction. And just knowing that is really important for us to elevate ourselves, to bring about those possibilities. That is the key. We need to dream. If the word dream is more easier for you than the word imagination, that's what we mean. Just going into this space that is not visible with the naked eyes. They can't see it, and take yourself in the zone where children go. They're impossible, and bring that into reality. It has to start with the mind.
Yeah.
What the mind conceives, it can achieve whatever you can conceive. And we need to take ourselves into these spaces where we can bring about what is thought to be impossible.
Totally. You know, there's really, Dr. Joe Dispenza has been doing amazing, amazing research.
I love him.
Oh yeah, it is really powerful. Sorry about that. And so recently, he's just come out with the Source movie, and this is the result of their research that they've been doing for a number of years. And so what they know now is when you go into that deep meditative space, so much goes on, but you step out of the ordinary, you step out of the bounds of what we think is actually possible. And so this is where we have miracles go on, major physiological healing, tumors disappearing, things happen. There's even been organ regrowth.
I think you told me about that.
Research is absolutely wild, and it's linked with our imagination, because what we're doing is we are interacting with the field. And so it was once thought that matter created the field, but that's not the case. We create matter from our interaction with the field. Yeah. Now this goes right down to creating antibodies that interfere with cancer, that they've done amazing results with the whole COVID and immunity system thing. Yeah. And this is all about getting present, being really connected with source, heart-brain coherence, and stopping ourselves from the stories that we tell ourselves. And this is, I know both of us in our different work, we have the same belief system in relation to really anything is possible. And it's our job now. Our job is to continue to do the work.
Exactly.
To break the boundaries. And this is all linked with imagination, because this is one of the gifts from the source of all that is, that we have the ability to look at what is possible and what's never been done before. Where can we go with that? Yeah, because everything that's here has actually begun within the mind, within the imagination. Yes. Oh, it just thrills me.
I know. It's such a big subject. It is, and I don't think we can explore all of it here. It's fascinating, especially all of that work. I love Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love the zones that you go with. I use his meditations in the mornings, every morning. And the way you expand your awareness after that is just amazing, just through meditation. But if we take it to the level of telepathy, which Napoleon Hill mentioned, and to me, I started to see that you can do these things. Sometimes it shocks your whole system that when you think so much about something that you could be impossible, it actually comes. You're sort of, actually, Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it collapsing the events. And you find that all of a sudden a phone call rings. Yes. And someone is talking about what you've been thinking about. and the same person you've been, and you think, oh my goodness, what did I just do with my mind there? How, how,
Yes.
how much can we, if we come to the realization of that, how much can we use to make changes in our lives, to bring about possibilities in our lives by just utilizing this mind?
Yes. This is pretty out there, but I've had quite a bit of experience with telepathy with people with high-level autism. And in fact, for a number of years, I wrote songs and co-wrote poetry and actually translated, channeled his poetry and his work onto the paper. And that was an incredible experience and very, very challenging, because to enter into that, we actually have to operate differently, and we have to drop barriers and engage in a different way. And so there were very few people to discuss this with. And so it became an overwhelming experience over a period of years for both of us. Yeah. We actually had to part ways. It became too much because the boundaries were so blurred that it became really untenable. But those experiences were some of the most profound experiences I'd had in relation to being like we would run workshops and people would enter that room and they could not, what their feedback was, they actually couldn't hold barriers in place. Everything melted. And so they couldn't hide from themselves and they couldn't hide from us. And it was never a threatening thing. It was always a very peaceful thing.
Very good. Wow.
Yeah. But it was to me showing me what is possible. And we've got a long journey to go to be able to really embrace that. But part of the thing with imagination, and children show us this really, really well, is that we actually need to engage in a way that acknowledges magic that is there. We are so used to downplaying everything. It's incredible. We don't even, and we've talked about this before, we don't even acknowledge the magic of the fact that just sitting here breathing is absolutely incredible, and talking, walking, moving at the same time. Like, come on. There's a whole bodily system working, and we start and we kind of plod along and whinge and it's like, hang on a minute, hang on. Like this is actual magic. Watch children look at their bodies and discover their bodies and how they discover movement and everything.
Yeah, baby.
And so if we actually stop seeing things as happenstance and it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence that I've been thinking about Barry, who I haven't seen for 17 years, and now he's standing at the door, or he's on the phone, or he's found me on Facebook. No, it's magic, because you've been thinking, and we're all interconnected. Yeah.
Interconnected and creating a force, the vibrations. Yes, because thought is energy and it vibrates. So yeah, we know we need to bring about those possibilities through our thoughts, our imagination, but also becoming aware that we are limited in our thinking. And then for imagination to happen, we have to expand and go beyond what we think is possible. Yeah, we have to come to the realization that you're just thinking it. You're just thinking that that's possible and that's impossible. But actually, everything is possible. The moment the mind can conceive it for even that second, it reveals to you that that is actually possible. It's not impossible.
Yeah. And Stella, that takes us to the point of, for most of us, we have a dream within us. most of us have this underlying feeling that we can do more that we're doing, or that we're here for something greater. And
Yes.
so often people will just keep squashing that. Yeah. And the thing is, if you can think that,
Yeah.
if you can even fleetingly have a
Yes.
glimpse that there is something more
Yes.
about yourself than what you're currently expressing or currently living, you can only do that because it actually exists within you.
Exactly. That's amazing. I love that. I
Yeah,
love that very much. And
it's
women need to hear that. Could I ask you to say it again?
yes. So if you can think it, if you have that thought that, oh, I know I'm meant to be more, I know I'm meant to do more, or I know that I'm not living to my full potential. I know I'm not using all my gifts and abilities. Heck, I don't even acknowledge them, or heck, I don't even tell people about them. Yeah, I don't want to be laughed at. I don't want to be separate. I don't want to be looked at as weird. If you've got any of that going on, the only reason you think that is because it's a possibility and it lives within you. It is there within you. And it is a voice of you trying desperately to get your attention. And I just want to add this to it. You know, I was just actually writing about this. Greatness is not just about big stages. Yeah. Greatness is about living fully. It is about you acknowledging the genius within you and going on a journey to open that up to yourself and share it with the world. Yeah.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's beautiful. And we need it to be, that's the key message, even for the stellar woman. It's just that living fully, and you can feel it, and the rest is resistance from you, but it's real, and that's what we call the truth. That's the truth living in you. And that truth needs alignment so that it can be brought out. You need to align your mind, your heart, and everything, and bring out that truth that is within you. It's actually only within you. It's not firing in other people. That uniqueness needs to be brought out, and we need to acknowledge it and bring it outside, because the world needs it. We need to go back to the first topic, expression. You need to express it. You need to find ways in which you can start expressing it.
Yeah.
Find spaces. Talk to one person, another person. Find ways to bring that out. And of course, we want it to go spread even further, because that is truth, that is light, and we need light in the world, because most of it, all of it is actually perfect for the world.
Yeah.
That is perfect for the world. We need it. And women need to understand that we need it. It's not something that is living in another person. It's within you.
Yeah.
And the world needs all of that. So our imagination is really an important aspect that we cannot afford to ignore.
Yeah.
And I want to know, how do you, because if someone is thinking about imagination, they're thinking, what are they talking about? This topic, this thing is not, I can't be imaginative. Yes, I actually have people who think they cannot be. They can't imagine things. They think, oh, Stella, because you're in marketing, marketing is quite imaginative. You know, you're in those spaces. I am not imaginative at all. Let me know, how do you get in that space of imagination?
So there's a couple of things. Curiosity is part of it. Actually looking at things and wondering about them. How does that work? What is that? Yeah, it's actually paying attention. I notice when I'm with other people that I will often, like, I don't have great eyesight anymore, but I still see the butterfly over on the tree as I'm walking. I still notice that leaf structure. I notice, so I'm looking, I'm curious about my environment. I'm curious to look around. Yeah. And again, just a reminder, if you've got kids, or you've got a friend who's got a kid, or you can see kids somewhere, watch them and learn. Yeah. Remember, really, it's not a relearning. You've got it there. So it's that curiosity is a huge part of it, and creating the space to explore. Like, I am a terrible visual artist, right? Like, honestly, I cannot draw to save my life. It's really bad, but I love doodling. I love just drawing lines and shapes. And sometimes I really impress myself with the designs that come up. Yeah. So I doodle. I write without any censorship, automatic writing. I sit there, I look at the page, and if I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to write? And I'm having trouble, I'll write. What am I going to write? This is really hard. Sometimes I wonder if there's any point, you can just do a stream of consciousness and write. And some of the things, you start that practice, do that every day for a week. That's your homework. If you don't do that, do it every day for a week, even just 5 or 10 minutes, and start to see what you discover. And you'll find it might be one line in a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and you'll go, wow, that's really impressive. Yeah. So curiosity and playing.
Curiosity and playing and observing children. If you could allow me, actually, recently I love Lego very much. Now, my daughter also loves Lego. My children love Lego. But then my daughter came back throughout this week. She's been coming back and recreating different puppy out of her different Legos. And I kept thinking, how did you do that? How did you do the legs? Which Lego part have you used to find those legs for pieces? How did you do that? And I just really don't know, because if I see them as pieces, unless they are part of what Legos prescribe, I can do it. But to start and recreate, I find that someone comes back and in a short period of time, they are lost and they come back with a piece of Lego and they have a puppy in front of them. Mom, can you see this? What I've just created? Sometimes she comes back with a garden, a platform of a garden. And it's all created different flower plants. And she's just recreated what her Lego pieces into this garden. It's so fascinating how children can do it. And I liked your directive of that. I wanted us to go back to another aspect still that you suggested, the wonder of the body, the mechanism of the body. What's happening inside us when we breathe?
Oh, wow.
What happens to the heart? What happens to your blood flow?
Yeah.
What happens to your cells? And how are they moving every single day, functioning? And I find that if we can even just keep to that wonder, it can take us to a different level.
And Stella, if you think about, the things that people will say, like, my God, I walked away from a car accident and I should never have walked away. Yeah. Now you can say that's luck, or you can say that that's something else. You can say that that's a connection with you and the source of all that is, and a co-creation of an event that could have been a destruction. Yeah. And I know that that can sound really, oh yeah, Delany, that's right out there. But I'll take you even further, because I did have a car accident where I fell asleep at the wheel and I rolled. I flipped the car. And I will never forget this. Everything went into slow motion, as is said that happens in an accident, right? But I had a window open. And it was the wee hours of the morning. I wasn't drinking or anything, but I'd been out playing music, actually, with a fellow musician friend. And it was just 2 or 3 in the morning, and I just nodded off, and in that nod off, the car flipped and started to roll down an embankment. Now, my arm was actually out like that. And I'm really aware of everything that's going on in that moment. I felt a fingernail snap, like heightened awareness, and everything slowed down. And I knew that the car had rolled on my arm. And I'm in the middle of a field, and I'm trapped in the car. And the car is lying on its side.
Wow.
And I know something has gone on, and I'm bipping the horn, and I can hear that the farmers are actually awake, and I know that they're going to come to help me. So I get my bearings, and I realize that I've got to climb out of the window, and I'm standing, by the time they get, I'm standing on the top of the car that's on the side. And they help me get down, and my arm is ballooning up. And so I put my hand on it, and I started running healing energy on it, right?
Wow.
I'm really like, I'm running it like crazy, and I'm connecting to source, you know, I'm like, because I can feel this, there's blood, there's like, it's going crazy. And I get to the hospital, and it's quite a trip to get there, but I get to the hospital, and the doctor is flummoxed because they can't get an X-ray because it's blurred every single time. And why it was blurred, because by this stage, there's other people have come into the hospital, and they're working with energy on my arm, right? And they're, at that point, they think I might lose my arm.
Oh my goodness.
From the elbow down. And I've got people working on me as well, right? And 3 times X-rays, they can't see anything. And I can tell you exactly what was going on. It was healing. And so they couldn't get a still picture because the cells were moving. By 6 p.m. that night, I got released with a doctor that was shaking her head, just going, she just didn't know how that was even possible.
Whoa. Whoa. Wow.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Oh my
It
goodness.
is crazy. It is crazy. But I bet you if you start to think about it, and I challenge you for this, Stella, think about your own life, because you've given birth to children, all sorts of stuff. I want you to think about your body and where you can actually identify that level of miracle, because I reckon you will.
Yes, I do. I do. I used it actually mostly, and when you give birth, that's a good one. Yeah, like you sort of you can set the scene in your mind. And I used to tell it to people, but sometimes it feels like, oh, you're saying that because you are that, or that, or that. Because I gave birth naturally on all of them consecutively. And with the last one, I had read a book. And the book had, I just got it just like a day before I gave birth. And I was just waiting for my child to be released from school. And I got this piece of it. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is fascinating. It was just talking about how my blood would flow when I'm releasing. And it was changing everything from the way we are told about how to sleep and everything. So I put it in my mind. And when I was lying on this bed, I drifted to that knowledge and started to change the way my blood is going to flow to my child. So I changed from where they're telling us always to sleep to indifferent flow based on that book. So the midwife, well, after delivering my child, she just kept saying, how did you do that? How did you do that? I've never seen that. How did you do that? And I have to tell you, it's just that you captured some information and put it in your mind, and then start to do it with your energy, with your power source in your mind.
Yeah.
It was quite risky because I had 2 kids, so I should have gone to the other pattern. But somehow I believed this. And
Yeah.
I connected that it's going to work as what I needed to work. Yeah. So
Wow.
yes, but definitely there's an energetic force when you're giving birth to a child. And that takes you to another level where you think, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
In this body, I haven't given birth, but I was at the birth of my niece's first child. I'm so glad. Like, it was incredible. And she used hypnobirthing and in the water until the end, you know, like and I had to fly into state to get there. It was all this dramatic stuff, you know, and got there. And oh, wow, it was just the most amazing experience. But to watch her and who she became, she was comforting her husband and I.
You're the ones
It was bizarre. Here we are, like I'm sitting beside the bath. He's in the bath with her, holding her, and she's having contractions and stuff. And she's holding his hand and she's holding mine, right? And she'd like such warrior woman through it. And then she'd be going, like, I'm in tears, and Dunk's getting stressed because the midwife was getting stressed, wanting her to get out of the bath, but she knew exactly when to get out of the bath. Like, her confidence was unbelievable. And she's comforting him and I, saying, don't worry, don't listen to her. It's okay.
Oh, wow, that's so good.
And then watching the whole process was like, and I kid you not, I'm going to tell this because it's so beautiful. She gets out of the bath and the baby's head's actually coming out. Yeah. And she gets out of the bath and walks to, well, you know, waddles to the bed. The baby pops out. Her husband catches the baby, right? And she does a freaking high kick as she spins around
Very good to us.
and takes the baby off him. Like, it was like, you've just given birth to a baby and you do a high kick, because there's no way you're going to stand there with that baby behind you. You know, like, it was just like, who is this person? And then I watched this couple in a beanbag and there's like blood everywhere. It was just the most, and I'm just like sobbing because I could not believe that I'd gotten to witness this whole thing. And we somehow, right, it's okay to do it there. It's okay to do it in a car accident. It's okay to do it in an emergency situation and then downplay it later.
Late. That's the big thing that you're
What
talking
the
about.
heck are we doing?
We just continue with our life and just downplay it. That's the right thing, actually, to awaken us. What are we downplaying?
Yeah, exactly. This is, you know, I was talking about it in a workshop I was running this morning, going, what are we doing? Like, oh, harumph, 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 you know, like, yes, there's pain. That is life. That is life. There is pain. Gosh, you know, even from the little things, knock your elbow as you walk through a doorway. I mean, life is full of pain. But how we handle the suffering and where we take it and the degree to which we commit to magic, to actually embracing the miracle and the gift that is. Not just talking about it, not just saying, oh, it's in a pious moment, how wonderful it is and what a gift this being alive is. But then I'll watch 10 hours of TV and not even know who I am. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, no, you've said what a powerful word, who I am. We don't even want to acknowledge that we are the miracle.
Yeah.
We are the miracle. Everything about us is. And we have that we are power, because the creator, the source, reveals the power in each of us. In each of us.
Yeah. Yep. Sure does. And you know what? You've still got to do the work. because I've performed healings on people and seen like magical stuff, you know, like things. But it's not me. It's source, and it's the three of us. Or if there's more people, it's a few people, right? It's not just me. And the thing is, even when you're the receiver of that, and I've done this repeatedly all through my life, because I've experienced so many miracles. I don't even, it's wild that I'm still here.
Yeah.
But I didn't continue the work. I would only do so much of the work. Yeah. I've been studying consciousness and those things, and the meditations and all that stuff way before I even knew who Joe Dispenza was or anything else, right? I've been studying that stuff for a really long time, like decades. And I would only use it here and there. I would commit for a little while, and I'd, have all this magic go on, and then I
Stop.
And it's okay. Like, I don't have to be annihilate myself over that. But I had to come to a place, and that was last year, where I came to a place of that has to stop. I have to actually turn this into the way I live and practice this and get better at it and get better at it all the time. And I've worked on that whole self-healing because I have to. It's the only way I'm going to actually create what I want to create.
Yes, and also give that magic, that awareness. The magic is within all of us, but also give that awareness to others, because everybody needs that awareness.
Yeah.
Of this magic. And you took me there at some point to, there's a book, and I think it's about imagination. And he also talks about the aspect you're talking about of a child. He gives an example of a child who has got into an accident. And there's a helicopter, and all of a sudden the media is talking about that child. And everybody's praying and wishing, sending these magic wishes to this child. And then the child heals because they're picked up. The ambulance, sorry, I've forgotten the name of the doctors who are always in the ambulance. They come in, they start the work, they start the prayer. They're all praying, they're all wishing for this child, sending great vibes. Everybody is. And all of a sudden, the child is better. So all those prayers, all those wishes worked. It's actually that prayer or that wish, that positive vibe that you're setting is sending proper vibration to that person, even if you're not in their proximity, even if you're not.
That person wants to live.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. It's not a divorced thing. And I know you know that. I just want to make sure that we get that in there. It's not, and that doesn't mean, oh, someone died of cancer, so they didn't want to live anymore. That's not what that means at all. We all have our own journeys. We have our time that we're going to be here. And I don't know that that is really set in stone. It may be, but we have our time. And I certainly don't do this thing of, oh, well, they didn't want to live if they didn't survive. Well, we don't know enough to be making judgments like that. But when that happens, I think we can pretty safely say the person who's the one who is being prayed for, they've got to want that as well.
Yes, yes. They receive it. They need to receive it. Yes. They
and
need
receiving.
to receive
Oh,
it.
I think we just got our next topic.
Which one is that?
Receiving.
Receiving.
Yeah.
Receiving.
That is big. That is really, really big. Most of us not very good at receiving, especially women. Very good at giving, over giving when people don't even want it. Making ourselves the martyr. Oh my God, I've got
yes. Receiving. Did you have a task for all our subscribers who are great here and listening to us?
Yes, I do. I want you to play. Yeah, I really want you to play. I want you to play with that automatic writing. Like just commit to 5 minutes, like with a cup of tea. And many of you will have done some of it. Some of you will be people that do it. And some of you will never have done it. So just try it. And it doesn't matter what. It can be, I feel ridiculous and there's nothing going on in my mind. Like just write whatever starts to flow and play with that and be curious. You know that saying, smell the roses along the way.
Mm.
Yeah. Start to actually pay attention. Come off the screen. Look around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really look around you and start to embrace the notion, because if you look at it, that everything is vibration, even that cement footpath.
Yeah.
Pretty magic. You're
Yeah.
walking on something on top of a living organism that is our planet.
Yeah.
You want to talk miracles? Yeah. And because she ain't solid, she's moving all the time. You only have to, I remember when we moved to Bali, we lived there for a couple of years, and it was like, it was the first place that I'd lived where I knew there were lots of earthquakes. Well, we experienced them.
Oh.
That was amazing. Like everything's shaking and you've got to run outside and you're feeling it. And it's like, okay, that gave me a total different view of the solidity of the planet. Yeah. It's a
Wow.
magic place we live, and it's a magic thing that we live in this body. Play. What are you going to give people to do? Sorry, I get carried away.
No, I was taking myself to different spaces. There are two spaces I want, and they're connected with living. And one of them could be your body. If you could just use your body, you can imagine how if you have a cat tonight, the healing starts immediately. By tomorrow morning, you wake up and you find that healing happening. So if we can use the body and just be curious about any part of your body, and how it was made, how it keeps the system, how whatever, if it's the hand, just look at it. I remember we used to spend just so much time looking at our fingers and all the different twists. I don't know the last time I looked at my fingers.
Yeah.
You know, it's time. So if you can just look at them and just take the imagination of the functionality of that hand, you can decide to focus on the wrist. If you didn't have that wrist, what would happen? Just ask, be curious on the imagination of the creator of the wrist. Why they decided there needs to be a wrist on your body part. That could be fascinating to you. Or you could decide to look at a plant. If the body doesn't work with you, you can use any plant and imagine from its conception of a seed. And how does it come out? How does it shoot up? How does it become that and then flower? Just the thing you took us through already. Just be like a child who will wonder, what is this? How does it come about? So just take us ourselves to that wonder, the magic of everything that we have around us. But first with your body if you can. And if you can't, you can use the plant that is next to you.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. And I hope you've enjoyed this session with us, and especially and thank you for sharing that story, you getting out of that space and being the miracle that you are, going through that accident, your car turning around, and you being here and giving us the gifts. Yes, giving us the gifts of your presence, and even sharing that story and revealing to us that, yes, source still wants you here. You still have a purpose, and you're revealing that purpose to us. We're grateful, so grateful that you're here and that you've shared that magic with us, that miracle with us. So keep doing that miraculous work and sharing that sparkle with the world and taking us to the greatness. Thank you.
And thank you, my lovely. Thank you.
Okay. So
What a-
until next time, you've just talked
Yeah.
about receiving being our next topic.
The gift.
Yes, receiving. So it is me, Stella Olivia Kikoyo here of the Stellar Woman, and my dearest Delany of Rise to Greatness. So we love you all. Ciao. Bye-bye. Mwah.